Hi, and welcome to Prepping Essentials. Good morning, it's 7 o'clock on Saturday the 4th of September. Just making my way down to the land, and as always, not quite sure what we're going to get done today, but let's find out. Well, here we are down on the land. It's another grey, overcast day. Lots of black clouds in the sky. Temperature's quite cool. This grass is looking good that I cut last weekend. I'm really pleased I got that done. I have got the centre section still to do, but hopefully, as long as we don't get any rain, they keep promising it, but don't know where it is. If we don't get any, I'll get that centre section down. There is a bit of a wind and it is cool in the air, so who honestly knows what's going to happen. Anyway, wherever I get up to, I'll keep you posted, but for now I'm going to get in the cabin, get opened up, and we'll see what the day brings. Well, as usual, first things first, sort the little chickens out. They're busy pecking around now with their corn. It's distinctly cooler again this morning. We've had a couple of weeks of this cool morning start, and I'm tired of seeing grey cloud. It has been like that literally for weeks and weeks. I can't even remember how many weeks now. I cleared out on Thursday, so I'm not expecting any huge surprises in here, but there's 3 eggs in that first nest box, which is nice, and 3 in that one. A bit dark for you to see in there, but there are 3. So there we go, 6, and nothing in there. Water's going to need topping up today, and food's not too bad actually. So that's our little egg bounty for today. Let's get myself in the cabin, get that kettle on. I've got some greenery for them. I always do, it's the weekend. But I'll save that for later, after they've had the morning egg laying session. Well, I've just been watering in the polytunnel while the kettle's boiling. You can tell how overcast it is because that light's still on even at this time of the day. The water situation, I'm having to use the new IBC water tanks now to fill up the containers that I use in the polytunnel. We're just not getting the rain. I mean, looking at the sky, you'd think there was loads of it, but there isn't. Where are we with this one? Oh God, where are we? You can't even see it. Well, you maybe can. It's just there, which is about 150 litres per tank out of 1,000 capacity each. It's not good, which is why I'm not using that. I don't want to suck any sediment that might be out of the bottom, so I'm using the new ones. This grey overcast sky is not helping. Where are we temperature? It's 15 degrees outside. Or is it inside? It feels distinctly warmer inside. 1 degree. Global warming inside the cabin. But it's not helping the solar. Where are we? 13.2 on the garden room one. What have we got in here? Excuse the mess. I've got tomatoes ripening, or trying to ripen. Yeah, 12.8 on the main cabin batteries. It is charging though, to be fair, if you can see that little flashy light. So the panels are charging, even in this grey mucky sky. I just wish it would decide what it wants to be when it grows up. We are officially in autumn now. I have been looking at the elderberry bushes. It's a knack trying to get the berries as they ripen, because some of them are, some of them aren't. None of those are ready yet. None of those really. I did collect some on Thursday night, I think, after work. I was hoping there'd be a few more today. Oh, we're overflowing. That's what happens when you digress. Get in there. Yeah, I need a few more, because I've got a plan to make some jam this weekend. I'll have a hunt around and see if there are. I need probably another 150 grams to make me up to a kilo. We'll keep looking. Anyway, I need to get these cans topped off, and more importantly, get some coffee and we'll have a chat. Well, good morning. It's the weekend again, thankfully. I do look forward to the weekends. When I'm sitting at work, I do ponder sometimes what it is I might be getting up to, or wonder what the chickens are doing and how much watering the plants are going to need, which lately has been quite a lot. It might not seem like there's a lot growing in the polytunnel, or indeed the raised beds, but there is. The tomatoes are still going strong. Some of them are changing colour, thankfully. I've pulled some out onto the windowsill at home, green ones that have fallen down on the vine. Similarly, there's some over on the bench here in the cabin. But we'll take a little look around the garden later. But they certainly needed watering all the way through this week. Trying to keep on top of those carrots, make sure that they grow properly. Potatoes I'm not too worried about now. I'll probably let those dry off. Don't know whether I'll pull any this weekend or not. I pulled last weekend, got a really nice harvest. There's a definite difference between those canvas or fabric buckets I've been using and the the barrels. I might pull one barrel actually, just to see if it is the same as the first one, whether it's full of ants and misshapen and scabby potatoes. At least that'll put me out of my misery. I don't know, we'll see. But yeah, water's definitely an issue. Thankfully, I put those 2 new tanks in, so as you'll have seen earlier, I'm using those to fill the containers. Talking about which, bear with me. Guess what? It was just starting to overflow, so I've just put it into the other container now. I'm getting old. Memory's not what it was. You could have told me earlier, Cockerel. Water, sorry, is becoming a bit of an issue. We just haven't had the rain. It's been promised for weeks. Indeed, a heat wave was promised weeks ago. That's not materialised either. It's just been this constant grey, overcast. I suppose the one good thing with the overcast sky, I showed you the solar earlier. With the extra panels I've put on this year, I'm hoping that as we go through proper winter, that I can manage to maintain the battery levels. Given the weather we've had this last few weeks, and having looked, well, I look all the time when I come down, but having looked again today, it does seem to be working. I do seem to be maintaining the batteries at a high enough level not to cause any problems. I remember that last year I was consistently dropping down to 12 volts, 12.1. I think one day last year I dropped below 12 volts. It was 11.8, 11.9. You don't want to be there. So yeah, fingers crossed, we should be good with the solar. Having split out now the diesel heater onto its own permanent panel, I won't necessarily, I hope, have issues if I start using that diesel heater through the winter months. There'll be sufficient time during the day to make sure that the batteries are strong enough and have a high enough charge, not to be drained by the diesel heater when it starts up. In terms of what I'm planning today, there's a few different little things I would like to get done. I mean, I've got that one last bit of grass, the centre section, that I would like to get done. I don't know if that's going to be the last cut of the year or not. I was having a discussion with somebody at work about grass, and whether or not we'd seen the end of the grass cutting. Given the weather lately, I'm thinking we probably have, but who knows? If we do get that little mini heat wave come along, that might just encourage it to grow some more, and I might need to do another cut this year, but I'm hoping this will be the last one. I guess you'll find out as we go through the rest of the year. Little bits and pieces on the planting, not a great deal though. I've got a few bits that I've brought down from the car, and over this weekend the videos might be quite short. There are other things that I need to do away from the cabin, and I also want to pop to the farm shop. I'm going to have to do that today because it's not open on Sunday, just to keep topping up on the feed store I've got for the chickens. I've still got 60 kilos unopened and probably another 10, 15 kilos in an opened bag. But I am conscious that given the issues we've been having with supply chain, and I'll touch on that in a second, you just don't know if it's going to be there or not. So I'd rather be ahead of the game and make sure I've got plenty on hand just in case there are issues around storage or issues around price. And on that note, mainstream media now is picking up a lot on supply chain. They're kind of focusing on the amount of lorry drivers or truck drivers that we have or don't have. There's been a huge story floating around, and I've seen it on a couple of YouTube channels here in the UK, that there's a shortage of 100,000 HGV, that's heavy goods vehicle, truck drivers. Loads of discussion around that, and I was listening to a programme on the radio on the way back from work, and it was Thursday night or last night. And it's one of these programs that debunks myths or gives you amended figures for stuff that's been in the media. So they do loads of research to see whether the figure quoted in the media is true or not. And it turns out that the 100,000 missing truck drivers, actually that's not correct. There's lots of talk about, since we left the European Union after Brexit, that foreign truck drivers weren't here anymore. They'd all gone home. And the suggestion was that that's where this 100,000 missing truck drivers figure came from. Turns out that actually back in 2019, the people that were saying there's a shortage were saying there's a shortage back then in 2019, and they were saying then that there were 60,000 missing truck drivers, or we needed another 60,000. So that's 2019. So fast forward to today with the 100,000, then that 60,000 is included in that 100,000 figure. So in reality, what they're saying is there's another 40,000 gone missing over the last 2 to 3 years, of which a percentage will be foreign truck drivers. But also, out of those figures include the number of people who actually have passed a truck driver's test. Doesn't mean that they're truck drivers. So if there were, say, I don't know, 40,000 people who had a license at some point, could be 20 years ago, and they still got it, they're saying that those people should be driving trucks. Well, lots of people have given up driving trucks over the years. People have got other reasons for having a truck license. Maybe, I think one of the people that was quoted was the actor Liam Neeson. He has a truck driver's license, so he's included in these figures. But he's not a truck driver, he's an actor. So yeah, I guess the moral of the story is, don't always believe the scaremonger statistics that are being banded around, because the people who are banding them around generally have an agenda for doing so. And of course the media loves a scare story, so they're more than happy to jump on that bandwagon. But having said that, there is definitely supply chain issues, we know that. They've been ongoing all the way through the last year and a half of COVID, and they're definitely going to continue. Prices are still going up. Media is reporting that now because that's a good story for them. Inflation is definitely going up. So please do continue to keep topping up on your preps. You don't know when the shortage might come, which is why I'm buying extra chicken feed. And you definitely don't know when the prices are going to go up, or when the containers are going to get smaller for the same amount of money. Other stuff going on in the big wide world. Weather, I keep mentioning it to death. But we've had some quite significant weather events around the world. Those fires are still burning in North America, and in some other places around the world. We've seen huge storms in America. I'm hoping that none of the people who view the channel have been affected by that. But all the way across the east side of America, from the southern Gulf Coast states all the way up the east coast into New York. New York's had some particularly bad flooding this last week. So weather, it's not just bad for the harvests and food production, it's also bad for people individually. People are losing power in their homes, people are losing their homes, and unfortunately people are dying. So never neglect the weather. It can have massive effects, and just because it's not happening where you are doesn't necessarily mean you won't feel an impact. The factory where your chicken comes from might be in the area that's been affected, or the power station that provides your electric might be in the area that's affected. So just because it's not in your area doesn't mean it won't impact directly or indirectly upon you. So keep an eye out, and of course be ready, be prepped for those events. If your power goes out, what are you going to do? Do you have an alternative to that mains switch? Is it worth looking at a generator? Is it worth looking at popping some panels on your roof? As you can see from the cabin, you don't actually need that much to maintain the essential things like your fridge or your freezer, or charging your phone, or running a water pump, having a few lights. You don't need that much. And of course, if you've got a generator, then it's almost like your own mini power station. You can continue to run pretty much everything you would have in your house. So if you're not already into that mindset and you haven't already got those preps ready, maybe now is the time, as winter starts to approach, to have a think about those things, and is it worth investing in them for yourself? Anyway, I need to get this coffee down me. I also need to open up the tractor garage on the off chance I might get some grass cut. But whatever I am doing, I'll keep you posted as we go through the video. And wherever you are and whatever you're doing, I hope you are staying safe and well and enjoying your weekend. Well, excuse the mess on the counter. Loads of stuff in here. It's the greenery for the chickens. That's my little egg haul from this morning. Talk about food and food production, and talk about supply shortages in the cabin chat. I said I was going to buy some extra feed for the chickens, so I just thought I'd share this with you. You might remember last week I got some supplies for the bees. There's the chemical strips there for the what's it called? Culver mites. This is bee connected. It's actually, daft as it sounds, it's food for the bees. It's like a fondant. And as we're heading into the winter months, and the availability of natural food declines, sometimes it's necessary to provide just a little bit of food for when the bees, if they do come out during the winter months, to be able to keep themselves going. So I bought this tray of fondant. There's a kilo's worth here. I've never used it before, obviously, because I've not had bees before. And whether it's me being a little bit nervous and a bit too attached to my wildlife, just like I'm conscious about feeding the chickens through the winter months, I am conscious that I might need to feed the bees. So I've bought this. I'll be talking to Simon the beekeeper at some point, if you're watching. Hi Simon. And just checking in with him and get a little bit of advice off him as to when or if to use this, and what I actually do with it. Do I just open the whole thing and leave it there forever, or do I use it in bits? I don't know. But yeah, again, trying to get ahead of the game just in case I do need to give a bit more attention to the bees over the winter. So I just thought I'd share that with you. I think now we'll have a little run around and see what's happening in the garden. Okay, let's take a little run around. Garden room, it's mainly strawberries. They are putting out lots of these runners everywhere, and I keep tucking them in as and when I see them to get them to produce more plants for next year. There's always so many things on my mind. I mean, over winter I'll be making some raised beds for these to get them up off the floor. The ones in the garden out where the fenced area is by the pondle tunnel, they were okay this year. I got quite a nice bit of fruit from them, but the rabbits were in there and the birds were in there. They need to be a bit higher up off the floor, I think. The sweet potato, these vines are really coming out now. Lots and lots of growth. It is an experiment. They were late going in, so I'm not expecting anything dramatic, but it's like everything else, it's a learning experience. I've never grown them before, so at least now I know how to grow them. and obviously from the way that they've come on from the very small little plants like this that they were originally when they went in, clearly it is working. Cabbages, you might remember I reseeded trays a couple of weeks ago. They're all coming through now, loads and loads of them. I planted out 9 or 10 in these containers, so at some point I'll do the same with these. I won't see anything off these until the spring because they are spring cabbage. But at least I'll have something, or fingers crossed, if they continue the way they are, I'll have something. Outside, you remember I pulled one of those barrels, very disappointed with that. I'm tempted to pull this one today, put me out of my misery. That one I'll leave for a while because it has still got foliage, albeit it is dying off. I'll leave that for a few weeks yet. The other potatoes, similarly, I mean, these are the ones that have produced really good potatoes. They look a bit sad and sorry for themselves, but that's just what happens to potatoes. So I could lift these now if I wanted, but I won't. I'm going to leave those. The other potatoes are planted, coming on really well. This is the new stuff that should be ready for harvest come Christmas. They're going to need banking up today. You can see there's a lot of strong growth on these. Even those later ones are coming through. Let's just cover that up. There's a potato there getting the light, don't want that. Yeah, even those are coming through. Is there any sign in this one yet? What's that? What on earth is that? Yeah, no sign of that, but I only planted that last week, so I'm over expectant. Yeah, these are the strawberries. They're just doing the same thing. They're just lying dormant now, putting out these odd little runners here and there. So at least I will have plants for next year. I've got 2 of those beds. The Swede, the saga of the Swede. Last week they were looking good. However, since then, I don't know if you can see this or not. Can you see these little black specks? You know what that is, don't you? Look at all them in there. It's bloody caterpillar eggs. Butterfly eggs. I'm just not winning at all with these this year. Not at all. Sweet corn. First time I'm growing this. And I didn't think I'd get anything, but clearly I am. There's a corn head formed in there. And as we have a wander around, where are they? There are some more. Oh, there's one there, look. Just in there. It's coming through. There's 2 more bigger ones here coming through. I felt fairly sure there was another one somewhere. Where is... I'm going to climb over the thistle mountain. I've been plucking thistles out of the raised beds. Where's the other one? I could have sworn there was a... Oh, there we go. One there. Oh, there it is, look. Just peeking out down there. So, fingers crossed, we'll have some sweet corn. I'm hoping that this grass will be dry enough to cut down this centre section, and everything else is pretty much as it was. I'm really pleased I got that down last week. I think I would have struggled this weekend to get that down. Anyway, so there we are. There's the garden, raised bed area. Let's take a quick peek inside the polytunnel. That's the containers I filled up this morning, or overfilled this morning. As you can see, there's an abundance of tomatoes, of which some are changing colour. look at these. This one's streets ahead in terms of starting to ripen. Everywhere now, they are slowly but surely. I mean, I've got so many. Look at all those green ones there. Loads, and we've still got flowers coming. More on this one. Again, some starting to ripen, but millions buried back in amongst the foliage. And again on these, the weather's definitely having its impact though, because I am getting curly leaves, which is not good. I am trying my best to water, but this, you look at the sky and you think, oh, there's no problem for water, but there just isn't any rain. Cucumbers, I've picked a couple off. I've still got small ones coming over there, and amongst this foliage there's some more buried in amongst there. Everything else pretty much as it was. Fig tree, still nothing on that, and I think I'll just give up this year with that. I'll take some cuttings and fingers crossed we might get something next year. But the carrots, look at all those. That's one thing I'm not short of, is carrots. And even those last ones I planted, those seeds are germinating now. So I have got succession planting. These will definitely go all the way through Christmas and probably into the new year. So, a bit of a mixed bag. The year has been some really good success with carrots, potatoes, and indeed, to be fair, with the tomatoes. I can't complain about those. The only disappointment, I guess, is the brassicas. They've just been completely decimated all the way through the year. Anyway, let me get myself sorted out. I need to get some compost and bank those potatoes up. I'm going to harvest that barrel. Given the state that this one was in, I'm expecting a repeat performance, to be honest. I don't think I'm going to get anything out of there except ants. But you'll find out shortly, I guess. Well, I just couldn't resist before I do the harvest and the banking up of the potatoes. I just thought that I'd do a bit of greenery for the chickens. What's this? Come on. The cockerel will be after my finger. It's a cunning ploy on his behalf. He's not after the cabbage or the lettuce. He's after my fingers. There we go, chaps. What's this? What's this? Okay, there you go. Enjoy your little greenery, and I'll go and do a bit of work. I'm just going to get these potatoes banked up. This compost, it drives me mad. Every time you open a bag, you have this fight with the lumps to break them down. But if you don't do it, you'll get misshapen veggies. So even though it is a pain, it's got to be done. Just scoop that up around. These are looking really healthy, really healthy. It's really nice to see, given the state that some of my plants have been in this year, with all these damned pest problems I've had. It's really nice to see young, fresh, green foliage. Anyway, let me get cracked on with this, because I've got a few to do. Oh, there we go. They're all nicely banked up. They will need a bit more as they progress, but for now we're okay. So I guess it's time to bite the bullet and take a look at that barrel. Well, here we go. Let's get rid of the foliage, or what's left of the foliage. Just having a quick look to make sure there's no tomato berries on there, which there isn't. Okay, I'll sort that out later. Let's take a little look, see what we've got. I dread to think. Okay. Well, there are ants, but not quite as many as in that other bucket. That's one of the original tubers. But I can see we've got potatoes. They're not quite as pretty as the ones in the fabric buckets, but we have got them. I'll pop that there. Hopefully you'll get a better view. They need a bit of a clean. They're not coming out as nice and clean as the other ones, but having said that, they're not looking bad, to be fair. I am surprised, pleasantly surprised. Not quite as clean skinned as the fabric ones, but they're not bad. Not bad at all. Certainly better than I was expecting. Much better than I was expecting. Let's try and get rid of some of this soil. Almost threw a potato away then. I've got to be careful, I don't want to leave any in there. Look at this. Look at that. Well, this, in all honesty, is a surprise. I was not expecting this. I was expecting the same as the other barrel. Half a dozen rotted, misshapen and scabby potatoes, but to be fair, yes, there is a bit of skin blemish on them, or on some of them, but nowhere near what I was expecting to see. I really was expecting a terrible harvest. But these actually, even though they have got skin blemishes, they're way better than we're getting currently in the supermarkets, I'll tell you that. I've been really shocked at the condition of the vegetables in the supermarket lately. Really shocked. I think it's a combination of poor harvest conditions, which I've been seeing here, and delays in getting stuff out of the farmer's field onto a truck and into the supermarket. But even this barrel, which is, when compared to my others in the fabric ones, when compared to them, these are poor. But in all honesty, they're a million times better than the supermarket. A million times better. And there's lots of them. And look at this. Huh. They'll just keep coming. And coming. And coming. Surprised how wet these are, considering the weather conditions, but I have been watering, as I've said a million times. I've been trying to be as diligent as I possibly can in keeping on top of the watering. That one I don't want to keep, that's rotten. It's one of the original tubers. So I guess in this case my persistence with the watering has paid off, because I wasn't expecting these to be as wet. I thought I'd have a completely dry barrel. I think we might be almost at the end. Oh no, we're not. I spoke too soon. There are ants in here, but not as many as there were in that other barrel. Not by a long chalk. They're still coming. Look at this, they're still coming. Well, what a pleasant surprise this has been. Very pleasantly surprised. It's another of the original tubers. We've got to be there now, surely. Oh. They just keep coming. Oh dear. Well, nothing else today. I've been pleasantly surprised by this. Oh, look at this. Hey? Oh, just when you thought it was all over. It is now. Right, that's it. So, I'll get tidied up and I'll show you what we've got. Well, this is what we've ended up with. They need to be dried out, and you shouldn't really wash these, but let's take that one because I can clearly see there's some blemishes. Let's just clear it up a little bit. If you can see that, it's got, I don't want to get the others wet. You have got some skin blemishes on there, but that will peel out. And it's not on all of them. Let's take that one as an example. There we go. See, nothing wrong with that one at all. It is just on, I'd say probably a quarter to a third of them have got this scab, spot, whatever you want to call it. But quantity wise, don't know how many kilos there is there. There's going to be a good 3 or 4 kilos in that little tray, or big tray. So yeah, considering how the other one was in those barrels, this is a success. As I say, not quite as good as the fabric ones, because the fabric ones kind of come out like this. I've just dropped it in the bottom of the watering can, would you believe it? Oh dear. Yeah, the fabric ones come out of the ground like that, whereas these haven't, but I can't complain, and I'm not complaining. Really pleased with that. Much better than the other barrel, which kind of gives me hope for that last barrel, but not today. Well, I'm just going to give that 5 minutes to warm up. Kettle's boiling, so I'm going to have a cup of coffee because I won't get a chance if I start cutting this grass, and we'll see how much we can get done. Well, this bit's always tricky around this entranceway where the car parks. It always gets really heavy with tall clover, and of course you're dodging around these trees. And these rose hip bushes, I'm going to have to trim these at some point, because these little straggly branches that you see overhanging, they always catch me as I'm running around. But it's all done around the aggregate pile. That's looking very nice now. So the only bit that's left is that centre section that runs all the way down the middle of the field, which again can be quite tricky because there's loads and loads of little trees and bushes. And again, at this top end, don't know if you'll see the clover or not, I'm sure you will. All of this stuff here is actually quite long. So it's a bit of a stray there that didn't get picked up. We'll empty the grass bag off the tractor and we'll see if we can get some more done. There are some really nice blackberries growing in this aggregate pile. The ones down by the cabin, I'm going to have that one. The ones down by the cabin, that's very sweet. Are not as healthy as these up here. I think they've been picked over by the birds and affected by the weather more, because it is very dry down along that woodland strip. Very dry. With it being an old railway embankment, there's not much decent soil there to retain the water, but there is here. So the blackberries here, the more I look, the more I find. Look at all these. How much better. I might be tempted to do a little harvest of these. Maybe tomorrow I'll take a look. Anyway, I digress again. let me get that grass emptied and we'll get cracked on with that centre section. Well, I just couldn't resist sharing with the chickens. They do like scratching around in this grass, and old Cockerel's calling the ones that were in the nest boxes to come and have a look. They do like it. Well, we're gradually working our way around this centre section. As you can see, there's millions of little trees and bushes to wend my way around, but it is coming down. This top part is just about done. You can probably see where I've stopped. I've just got this little piece left down to the edge of the fenced in garden area to do. Another, I don't know, half an hour, 45 minutes. Should see that done. Just need to empty the grass box. It's amazing how much it collects up. That's absolutely rammed in there. Anyway, let me get that done. Final push and we should be done. Well, there we go. That's all of the centre section done. As always, it's taken forever to get it all down. It's not helped by the amount of trees I've got, but I just do like my trees, and over time they'll come in really useful as a source for wildlife, but predominantly as a source of a windbreak for this southwesterly prevailing wind that literally comes from there. So as these get taller and taller and taller, there is method in the madness. It'll give us a nice windbreak, and it'll also give us an element of privacy as well from the road. So as usual, Little Red Tractor's done a sterling job. I'm going to get that last bit of grass emptied out and have 5 minutes. As usual, the day is just flying by, and I've got stuff I want to do, including getting out to the farm shop for that corn. Well, this grass is looking really nice now. I've just bobbed Little Red Tractor away, and you can maybe tell I've parked the wheelbarrow next to the car because I'm literally going to run out now and grab those bags of chicken feed and get them brought back before I lose the rest of the day. The farm shop's actually not that far away. It's probably only about 5 or 6 miles away on the small country roads. Whoop. Which are a bit bumpy, so I'm just making my way there now, and I'll catch you all in a bit. It is nice countryside round here, a little bit flat, but it's nice and quiet. So here we are at the farm shop. I won't show it, the name or anything, just for a bit of privacy for them, and I'll go and get my bags of layers pellets for the chickens. Well, there we go. There's another 40 kilos of layers pellets for the chickens, so we'll get these in the wheelbarrow and get them across to the cabin. So while the kettle's boiling, I've got my bag, my steps, I'm going to start hunting around in these elderberry trees to try and find the ones that are ripe. I just need that little bit more to top me up to 1 kilo, and then hopefully we'll be making some jam this weekend. Well, that's my little haul of elderberries. I'm fairly sure I've got enough there just to reach that 1 kilo bit. I think maybe it's time to check the eggs. They're the ones from this morning. Girls have had plenty of time, so I'll pop in the coop and have a look. Let's take a little peek. Oh, I need to top their water up as well. I'll do that straight after I've got these eggs out. Nothing in that one. Oh, we've got 5 in that one. Oh, they're still warm. Well done, girls. Ah, dear. That's 11. And that's it. Right. Nice little haul. I need to tidy up in here, and I need to fill that water up. They are messy birds. Look at all that down there. Well, it's almost home time, so I'm just having a quick run through, grabbing a few tomatoes, the ones that are ready. There are quite a few. Some of them are just not quite right. I'll give those a few more days on the vine. But I'm slowly collecting up quite a nice little amount here. Well, that's it for another day. Chickens are just chilling. Everything's locked up. Not bad day today, really. Oh, there's the farmer with his load of hay bales just wending by. I saw a couple of those when I went out to the farmer shop earlier. But yeah, pleased I got that grass done. The whole field now is done, so I can relax a little bit. If it does rain, it can rain for the next few weeks, and I won't be bothered because I know the grass is under control. Loads and loads of clouds, but it's been like this for weeks. You've had all this cloud but just no rain. It really is weird. So that's me done for another day. Get myself off home, I get showered, set about uploading the video, and at some point this weekend, now I've got my extra elderberries, we'll be trying our hand at jam making. So keep an eye out for that. Well, that's it for this video. I hope there was something in there that was of interest to you. If you did like the video, please do click on the like button. Also feel free to hit the subscribe button if you haven't already done so. As always, welcome any comments, questions or suggestions you might have. Are you planning ahead for potential shortages or price rises? What are you doing to prepare? Let me know in the comments section below. But for now, thanks for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.